And welcome back. So, continuing on. After a lot of little conversations with people spanning months, finally decided to basically try and take on at least one of Ben Shapiro's tweets. Just curious. Knowing the context, I was very, very sure I was going to get ratioed. And I'm surprised, I know I'd mentioned this, but surprised at how many likes I'd gotten. So I've basically been, I don't want to say arguing because that sounds too hostile, but like discussing things with people where some of the time it's indiscussable because they just assert things, and other times you actually have someone try and build an argument. So I wrote out my own, very as in-depth as I could get for having done this in the middle of the morning after I just woke up. But I wrote out why I perceive that Twitter is more or less neutral. And I made sure to leave comments enabled, so it's sort of the key for me is if no one actually has the willpower to comment on it, then how can I believe anything they're willing to say? If they have no ability to defend something, is it not therefore indefensible? But we'll see. I even offered the specific person I wrote out the basically 1-page long rant to write his own and link me to it so I can go through it as well, but again, I don't believe for a second that there's actually any desire to actually argue or debate any of this whatsoever. It just seems like assertions, baseless assertions. And then, of course, with having started to talk about some of the more depressing aspects the last recording session, I got in kind of a mood. I know my performance in-game sort of slipped, and now I'm back down to gold in Rocket League, so it's really fascinating seeing how much emotion, anxiety all play a role, especially when you have to live through it. It'd be horrifying to an extent if you didn't believe it'd ever go away, but I'm sure that's why so many people are in the ruts they're in. If you don't ever work on it, it won't ever go away. And I couldn't begin to figure out how to convince people that working on it's even worth it if you're just going to convince yourself that there's no benefit at the end of the road. As it feels like that sometimes. So, just sort of mindlessly going around now. Yeah, I have to talk to the windmill guy, and then he'll give me a song. This is honestly one of my favorite characters in this series. I remember him from Oracle of Seasons as well. Oh. Interesting. I don't think I have the song yet. Probably just misremembering the order of things. It's honestly one of the more fascinating aspects of depression, especially having smoked weed for so long. It's like these distortions between periods of time start occurring, directly related to how hard the memory is, how difficult it is to process the emotions going on. That's why I have sort of a bit of an obsession with recording things. I know it's helped my memory substantially to be able to have the courage to actually record things and listen back to myself for the most part. I know I have no real interest at all in listening to myself talk through all these episodes after they're published, but I have listened to arguments before between people people and myself, I should say, in order to come to better understandings, especially with people. Growing up, I was gaslit so much. It's hard to not want to have some level of technological armor. I don't know how else to explain it. The camera sees all, or at least what's in its purview. Yeah, I can't leave yet. I need to go into the courtyard and make it day. I don't even think I have the song for that right now. One thing I honestly love about arguing with these people is it seems to give other people the courage to do the same. I know how hard it can be to even want to. I know I have this weird obsession with just wanting to answer every single person. Even if a lot of the time it's basically just me applauding their stupidity or pointing out something that could be glaringly obvious through a word or two without any real substance to it. Not anything like you're wrong or anything that simple-minded, but simple-minded nonetheless. It's hard to even want to give a proper explanation when someone's going to just jump in saying, no, you're wrong. And not only that, but you're stupid. Or when you're trying to explain something to someone and you're like, oh, you must think I'm stupid. Like, what's this obsession of stupidity? You can't quantify things like that, or you start locking yourself in these stupid bottles. No way out. And too much of yourself stuck in. That's the whole point of being closed-minded. Someday I'm hoping to see comments so I can elaborate on my weird metaphors. It's weird, I have this urge to play games fast, but I have no interest in learning the speedrun. To an extent I do, I just... no interest in having to do it the entire playthrough. Windmill guy. Thank you for watching.